They said they were from the Alabama Power Company and could they come in. And they were so nice. One of them patted my shoulder and the other one, may I shake your hand? All that kind of crap, you know.
For 84-year-old Norma Morris, it all started with a visit 2 weeks ago from two men she thought had come to read her meter. But the meter on her Tillman corner home wasn't what the men had on their mind.
Then they started saying about a check. And I better call someone because my house is going to burn down by dark time. Can you imagine?
Norma refused to pay the $800 they demanded, and the men vanished. Deputy Lark Huber calls it a classic example of the flim-flam operation a county-wide law enforcement team cracked last week.
One subject would come to the door, present himself as a contractor or an employee with Alabama Power Company. Another ruse they used, they were tree trimmers that we know of. Then they would distract the person they were dealing with.
Huber says that's when another would make their move, rustling through the house and taking money or jewelry. At least a dozen victims, always elderly, lost thousands of dollars. Once victims began calling in descriptions of the two men and the truck they drove, it took police officers just a couple of days to find two suspects in the Tillman's Corner area. Johnny Broadway and his son-in-law Mike, alias Robert Boswell, both of Ohio, were arrested and brought here to the Metro Jail. One is suspected of similar crimes in other states and even wanted on a fugitive warrant. Still, both men are on the street tonight. A judge released them both on bond last Thursday.
The fact of the matter is, we don't need to go into our customers' homes. Our work stops at the meter.
Alabama Power calls it the worst case they've had of employee impersonation. Sometimes victims were told they needed this bogus ground rod to prevent an electrical fire. Lola Elrod was told her house needed the device at a bargain basement price of just $3,000.
I said, well, what will happen to my house? He said, it's going to burn down. I said, well, I'm sorry, but it'll just have to burn down.
Ms. Elrod and her disabled husband made easy targets when the men came to read her meters a few days ago. Fortunately, though, these targets didn't become victims. Amy Greer, Action News 10.